Welcome to the sofa. I'm Sherry.
I'm Bonnie, and this is the Sisters Hallmark Sip and Chat podcast.
We're a couple of crown heads who love all things Hallmark.
Hallmark's countdown to Christmas started last weekend on the W channel, and we are so excited. Hallmark announced their full lineup of movies for the 2021 season, and we are looking forward to watching them all and chatting about them. Join us weekly while we sip and chat about the movies from the past weekend. In this episode, we will be sipping hot cocoa, yum yum, and chatting about the first three movies, You, Me, and the Christmas Trees, Boyfriends of Christmas Past, and the Santa Stakeout. We chose to pair this drink because it appears in all three movies and because hot cocoa is wonderful.
Movie number 1, You, Me, and the Christmas Trees. It stars Danica McKellar as Olivia Arden and Benjamin Ayres as Jack Connor. The story is about Olivia, who is an expert on evergreens, and just days before the holiday, she agrees to help Jack. He's a fourth-generation Christmas tree farmer in Avon. A mysterious illness has befallen their firs, causing them to die out and threatening his family's 100-year-old business. As Olivia tries to get to the root of the problem and extends her stay in town, she and Jack spend more time together and feelings begin to blossom.
All right. Let's find out how this movie rates on our SOFA rating system. First, let's explain what that is. Our custom SOFA rating system includes a list of 20 Hallmark tropes that will determine how Hallmark is this movie. You can download the list from our website, sistersipandchat.ca. So for this movie, it earned 12 out of 20 SOFAs. And let's just go through the list. So it started off, it was a farm. So that's one on the list. And of course, the whole story happens around a Christmas tree farm. In hotel, she stays up at the hotel or the local inn. And they have all bunch of wonderful things happening there for Christmas at the inn. It's in a small town, the town of Avon specifically. Object focused. It's all about the Christmas trees in this one. Transportation breaks down. The two stars, Olivia and Jack, get in a fender bender together, and her car needs repairs overnight. And this is why she ends up having to stay in the town of Avon. There's a bit of a clash of classes. Her family is rich, and she feels Christmas has been more for show for them. And he comes from a more modest background where Christmas was a more celebratory and on a personal level. Town celebrations, there is lots of really good ones in this one. There was a cider mixology contest, Christmas cookies at the inn, a craft fair, town tree decorating, and lighting. The bonus for this one, for 5 extra sofas if there is a charity or a charitable event. And in this one, they sell the mistletoe balls from her canceled wedding for charity at the town craft fair. So what's the standout in this movie for you, Sherry?
I love the back and forth differences between the science that Olivia brought to it and the Christmas aspect that Jack brought to it. When they were making the mixologies for the ciders, which I didn't even know there was that many things you could do with ciders. It was really, really incredibly interesting how someone could take things that I would never think of and put them together and enjoy that drink. Like she put in the tree and she won.
Yeah, exactly. I would never think to drink a tree, but it worked.
Exactly.
I really like the mixology as well. That was pretty cool. I've never seen mixology with cider before, so that was kind of neat. I really liked her experiments with the trees and just learning about tree science was kind of cool. I really liked the scene under the stars where they were laying under in the nighttime starry sky. That was really sweet. I liked that.
It's so romantic.
Yes,
Really
cute.
I did really like that people could identify with her character, with her mom, having a mom that made her feel less than. During the movie, I was really, really worried, saying, oh, I hope my daughter would never feel like that, would try to avoid coming home. Nobody wants to be without their children at Christmas or their family in general. So that was really heart-wrenching for me that she would find any reason to not want to go home.
Yeah, I really like the part at the end where she got connected back with her parents. And once they found out how important it was for her to celebrate Christmas in this more homey way, more authentic way, they kind of jumped right on board, which is great. She was surprised and it was nice to see. I really liked that.
Yeah, it was really nice. And here's a big surprise. They got together at the end and
Yeah,
fell in love.
shocking. They better. It's a Hallmark movie.
Just
But yeah, it was
another great love story.
yeah, it was a really good ending, and it was really funny with the bad guy, who, of course, we figure out, what they figure out what he's up to, and he gets caught. And the town is, of course, right behind Jack the whole way. That's really great. The whole sentiment from the town, how connected they were, and how they kept giving him chances, even though he was having obviously all these issues with his farm.
What a great community. That would be wonderful to be part of a community that does that on a regular day-to-day basis. It's a common now to walk by your neighbors and do the head nod and say hello, but no, this community was one for all and all for one. It was really, really
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, I
I,
really
I
enjoyed
think
that.
that the biggest sum for me was, and you said it earlier, was not only was it a great love story, a great Christmas movie, but it was also very, besides entertaining, it was very educational. Like you said, we learned a
Yeah.
lot, which
Yeah,
was
I
really
thought that
good.
was a really unique take on a story. I'd never heard of someone who takes care of trees in that way. But it was pretty cool, a great way to incorporate Christmas trees as a major thing in the movie that isn't just, about lighting a tree. It's about caring for the tree, which is really cool. That was
That
pretty neat.
was really, really cool. Well, let's see how it compares with the next movie.
Movie number two, Boyfriends of Christmas Past, starring Catherine Hannah Kim as Lauren and Raymond Ablack as Nate. Leading up to Christmas, marketing executive Lauren is visited by the ghosts of four ex boyfriends. She must learn to open her heart or risk losing her best friend, Nate.
Now, let's find out how this movie rates on our SOFA rating system. This movie rates 9 out of 20 SOFAs, and they are engagement wedding. She overcomes her fear of commitment and they get engaged at the end. Something magical happens. Lauren is visited by ghosts of her past boyfriends. Helps a family member or friend in need. Lauren helps Nate with the party at the rec center for the foster children. Town celebration. Decorating the town square and tree lighting. And the bonus 5 SOFAs for charity or charitable event because Nate throws a party for the foster kids. Now, Bonnie, what stands out for you in this movie?
I really like that it was from a female point of view. Most renditions of the Christmas Carol, which this is very similar to a Christmas Carol story, always come from a male point of view. So I really like that this was from a female point of view. I also loved her dad, who is Paul Lee, aka Mr. Kim from Kim's Convenience. He was really funny, and I really loved seeing him in this movie. And I really enjoyed the relationship with her stepmom. She didn't have her birth mom in the story, and that was really heartbreaking for her. So it was nice to see that she still had a really good connection with her stepmom. I also loved seeing the celebration of Korean culture as well as Christmas. There's a lot, of course, I don't know about Korean culture, so it was really exciting to see that. I also liked the connection between Laura and Nate in the fact that she didn't have her birth mother, and that was a big deal for her, a real missing piece of her life. And Nate didn't have parents, he was a foster child. And so I think they connected on that level. So that was really nice to see that connection there. He was always there for her, like they were truly best friends. When she was having a down day, she would call him and he would come a running. The hot cocoa he would send or drop by her house with some gingerbread. That was really sweet. He was always very romantic that way.
I totally agree. This was another very interesting take on the classic Christmas Carol. I personally was a foster parent for 17 years, and therefore this was super close to my heart. And the concept of him giving back to others that were also foster children was very important. And the fact that he was successful, even though he was a foster child, I think is really great for people to hear because most people stereotype that role and don't always see that children that are been in foster care can have great, successful, and supportive lives. I really, really loved all the romance in the movie, including the horse and carriage. My husband, while we were watching this, agreed that the next time we go to the Niagara Falls, that he would rent one for us, because we see them all the time, but we hadn't actually gone on one ourselves. And I think you could see how I was so enamored with the horse and carriage ride, even though she was dismissing what he was saying. But I did like also at the end that she had the realization that she really did love him. She was able to come to that during her presentation, but then she also recognized that that love for him and that relationship was more important than any recognition or promotion. So that I thought was really, really good to show that love conquers all. And what's really important to us is love. And that was really, really well perceived at the end.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on all points. I really enjoyed the moments with the ghosts, AKA her past boyfriends, which, of course, they weren't really there. This was the magical part of the show. But it was cute and it was funny. And it also, of course, was eye-opening for her. But they also did a follow-up after, which was really interesting. That they followed up after each episode with the ghost. She would go online to social media and figure out, where they were in their life at that time. And it turned out that they were doing well in their life. And I think that was really smart, that they didn't leave it hanging that she'd just broken up with them and the relationship ended poorly because of something she did. Also, they went that next step to not kind of let guilt hang on to it. And she could see that they had moved on with their lives with the people that they were supposed to be with. And I believe that was the idea, that she was supposed to see that she was supposed to be with the person she was supposed to be with, which was, of course, Nate.
Absolutely. It was a very, very nice twist to an old classic. But once again, it was romantic. It was loving. And we're talking about people who, again, totally giving of themselves. Nothing's better than watching a movie where people can be selfless and kind. And not that she was always that way, but Nate was all the way through. So
yes, he always was shown as being such a big-hearted person, which was, of course, a terrific part of the show. And that's something that Hallmark always does well with their movies. So even though it wasn't maybe all the usual Hallmark tropes, it was a more unique take. It was still with that feeling, that Hallmark feeling you get when you watch these movies, which we love so much.
And it was great, like you said, to see the Korean culture for Christmas. That was something that I don't know a lot about. So that was really great. Again, another educational experience.
100%. Okay, let's go on to the next movie.
Movie number 3, The Santa Stakeout, starring Tamara Mallory Housley as Detective Tanya Morris, aka Tasha, and Paul Campbell as Detective Ryan Anderson, aka Rupert. Tanya is a police detective who is reluctantly partnered with fellow detective Ryan to solve a string of heists taking place during holiday parties around town. They go undercover as newlyweds, Tasha and Rupert, moving into the vacant house next to Mr. Miller, the jovial chair of the community's Christmas committee, and the prime suspect in the case. As Tanya and Ryan get swept up in Christmas, their cover story as a couple in love starts to become reality.
Okay, let's find out how this movie rates on our SOFA rating system. So this movie earned a 7 out of 20 SOFAs. And the tropes this time were enemies to lovers. They start off as partners who don't like each other very much, and then they fall for each other in the end, which was very sweet. The town celebration is really actually more a neighborhood celebration. They had neighborhood Christmas events like potluck, charades, caroling, and hot cocoa tasting. And it did earn a bonus 5 SOFAs for charity or a charitable event when they renovated a house for a deserving family. Okay, Sherry, what stood out for you in this movie?
Okay, well, there's so many things, but the one thing, I love these actors and I love that they have such a skill of using humor So in such a great storyline, they were still able to make it so entertaining and funny. He is just one of my favorite comedic actors. So I really love that. My favorite all time is the fact that I would wish I personally could be part of a community that does all those types of events. I would be totally into all of them. And I love charades. So that to me would have been a great event.
Yeah, they had a lot of cool events. I really liked the hot cocoa tasting that had flights of cocos. So it was all different kinds of cocoa. That was very cool. I love the actors in this one too. I think Paul Campbell is just a really good standout Hallmark actor. He always has a little bit of humor, which I always enjoy as well. The addition of Joe Pantoliano as Francis Miller, aka Mr. Christmas, who's this Christmas committee chair, was really great too. Really enjoyed him in this movie. I loved hearing her sing when they were caroling. She had a bit beautiful. Of a breakout moment there, and we got to hear that. I really enjoyed that too. I think it was really sweet overall, her trying to get the Scrooge out of him and apply some Christmas magic of her own in his life, and how he starts to connect back with that too. So that's always nice, the spirit of Christmas there.
And it was great that it was a mystery movie, because we do love Hallmark mystery movies, but it was great that they put a Christmas spin on this one. And it was actually really good. It took me 3 guesses. And at the end, I was still very surprised by who done it at the end. So
it was very good.
I really thought it was, he was the obvious one. My guess from the beginning was I've forgotten his name now, the police officer that they always call to bring their food and
yes, the bumbling guy. I'm not sure what his name is.
I've forgotten his name now.
Yeah,
but I thought that's who I thought it was. I was like, who could be that? But no, it wasn't him. Then I thought maybe the young guy who kept asking a lot of questions that was part of their community group. Then it wasn't him. Then I was like, okay. The police chief has said, nope, you guys aren't doing a good job. I'm moving it to somebody else. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a cover up. So maybe it was him. But no.
I thought maybe it was the neighbors too. I thought that one couple was maybe a little bit suspicious about, what do they do outside of all this? They were being very cagey about some things. I thought that was really good how they kind of pointed fingers and drew up some red herrings for sure in this one, and was happily surprised in the end when they finally revealed who done it. You were talking about that guy who was kind of bumbling. It just reminded me of one of the scenes I really enjoyed that was humorous, was when they were coming into the last party and they were all dressed as elves, and they kind of did that walk in like they were all, bad
on a mission.
And then flipping his little elf hat and everything. That was super cute. It was really funny, very tongue-in-cheek, but with a lot of spirit. So it was really great. I enjoyed that.
I really did enjoy that. It was a very cute movie. And at the end, when I couldn't even help but cry when they were helping that family in need with the home. Like that was that was really, that touched me, that moved me. And again, anytime you're giving of yourself without expecting anything in return. His whole point of it was that he was doing it anonymously with the spirit of his wife. It was very heartstrings pulled.
Agreed. I can't wait to continue to watch the rest of the movies this season and continue to see that kind of holiday spirit, that Christmas spirit that gets threaded through the season in the rest of the movies this season.
I couldn't agree more. This episode was brought to you by Hamish Community Services, opening doors by taking the dis out of disabilities. You can find out more information at hamish.ca.
Well, fellow Crownheads, we've come to the end of today's chat.
You can find all our episodes on your favorite podcast network.
And on our website, sistersipandchat.ca. Subscribe and never miss a chat session.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time.
And we'll save you a seat on the sofa.